Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. Well, hey, listen, today's lesson is going to be the chronology of Judah's return from the exile. Of course, you know the Bible story, the 12 tribes of Israel. You know about that in the Old Testament, and how they fractured after King Solomon's passing. The kingdom split up with the northern tribes, the 10 tribes up there, and then Judah and Benjamin and some of the Levites were down there in the southern part of what they called Judah. But the first wave that hit was the Assyrians came in and took away the 10 lost tribes of Israel in about 722 BCE, before the Common Era, and they never returned. They went elsewhere and assumed other names, of course. And about 150 years after that, that's when the Babylonians came and destroyed Jerusalem and took captives away back to Babylon and their colonies. But anyways, I want to do the chronology of Judah's return from the exile, which happened 70 years later, 74 full years later. So right here, I'm going to start reading them to you. It's a few of them, but King Cyrus issues decree and first wave of Jewish exiles return home. That happened in 536 before the Common Era, of course, and that was just the first wave. Then, right here, the next one right here says, Judah builds an altar and observes the Feast of Tabernacles in the 7th month. And that was also in 536 before the Common Era. Then the next one right here is they start work on the temple. The temple, well, they work on the temple, and the temple work stops in 535 before the Common Era. It was stopped, of course. We know why it was stopped. But here, right down here, the next one, work restarts with encouragement from Zechariah, and that's 520 before the Common Era. So Zechariah and others encouraged them to start rebuilding again, continue the building. And here's the next one: Judah completes the second temple, in 516, the year. And that was a long time coming, of course, with the pitfalls and the Samaritans getting involved in the wall, building of the walls, temple, everything. The Samaritans were always throwing a monkey wrench into their thing. But and here's the next one right here: Esther, from the book of Esther. Esther becomes queen of Persia, and that's in the year 478. Next one here is the second wave of Jewish exiles return from Persia, and that was 458 before the Common Era. So a second wave of the Jewish people came back to Jerusalem around the temple. Now, next one, King Artaxerxes decrees to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem under Nehemiah, and it was Judah's governor, and that was in 444 before the Common Era. And finally, we get to the other one here. The third wave of Jewish exiles return from Persia. And that was in the same year, 444 before the Common Era. And there's 3 waves of them that came. And of course, in between here and there, and there's little trickles, a few would come here, a few would come there. And after a while, when the holy days came, a lot of them come to the temple just to worship on those special days and then return back home. But yeah, they would sit there and they built the temple up, and Jews from around the civilized world would do their pilgrimages and come back to the motherland. But there wasn't very many Jews that returned to Jerusalem or by the temple. I think they said, I had a couple numbers. One of them said it was like 42, only 42,000 of them came, and another one said it was like about 50,000 Jews total. A lot of them that lived in Babylon, Persia, and right in the other areas, they established a life for them. They was doing well, and they didn't want to uproot and go back to the motherland. They didn't want to go there. They just wanted to maintain their life, what they had there, and they didn't return. And most of them didn't return, but they only went to visit and stuff like that. And it was just kind of interesting that then the temple, of course, we know about the temple was later in Yeshua's time. Herod he built built the temple more. He did a lot of upgrades on it, made it look so beautiful and everything. And of course, you know what happened around 70 AD. The Romans decimated it, just like Jerusalem, destroyed them, and that was the last of the Second Temple. But that was a chronology of the Jews coming back after the exile, returning from the exile. And I just thought that would be an interesting thing for you guys to know about, and because we read the Old Testament, we read Genesis, like Esther, Nehemiah, Ezra. We read all that stuff, but this is more of a chronology. It's more of putting pieces in together in the proper time frame or perspective, if you want to call it that. And anyways, that's all I want to say about that. And I hope you guys learned something from this. And I thank you again for joining me. And please feel free to watch my other videos. Comment below. Let me know what you think. And also subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And, also give me a big thumbs up. I almost forgot about those big thumbs, of course. But hey, that's all I got to say right now. And I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and watching my videos. Until we meet next time, peace out and shalom.